So all of this was happening at the time, and then the birth went perfectly well, healthy. Kyan came healthy. Rima was safe throughout the whole process, and that was a massive thumbs up, and we were really happy. And he's our sort of joy of life at the moment. I suppose then when it came to that point, it was like, right, let's get you this treatment. So we went back to the NHS, said, right, okay, we spoke about this treatment sort of a year ago. Rima's now sort of ready, and they said, oh well, actually we've actually got other drugs on the market which have come available. We suggest you try these first. And there's a panel when you go to this transplant. They've got to either say yay or nay, and there was a lot of nays for Rima's because of her age. They felt like she can trial a lot more drugs before they go give her that treatment. But I suppose the memory that I had and you had of you trialing drugs and reacting so badly to them, it was a no-no. I was like, this it's not happening.
So just to put it into perspective, prior to that, there was 4 months of a year that I couldn't walk or write because I had relapsed so badly, and I literally just couldn't use my right side. So I couldn't walk without someone holding on to me, otherwise I would literally just collapse. Or I couldn't write, I literally couldn't do anything with my right side. And that's while I was on medication. So it was, as you can see, a massive reason for us to completely slow down everything we were doing in property. But it was just a whirlwind, wasn't it? Yeah,
and I suppose from that we were looking at what are the options, how do we get this treatment, because this transplant, there were so many good reviews on it. There were, you could do it in Mexico. We considered going to another country, the rest of it. Effectively, what we ended up doing was doing it privately here in the UK, which cost us £70,000. Once again, that when we found that figure, it was a very much, where do you get £70,000? And you were very much, I don't want to ask or I don't want to do it. And I was like, we've got to raise funds for this, but there was almost you were reluctant to ask questions because you didn't want people, you want to put a burden on other people. I had to reverse the scenario and say, what would you do if it was me? And that's when she realized, okay, all right, she's got to take her mind out of this. So we had a lot of support. Family supported us a lot. We did a GoFundMe, raised up to about, was it 12,000?
Yeah.
£12,000 on that, where we had our employers, we're doing charity stuff. We were proactively trying to do stuff. And there was a lot of generous people out there that really wanted to see this. So, we got the funds. We done the treatment. And this when Kyan was 3 months, 10 months old. Sorry, 10 months old. And this is where Rima had chemotherapy. She lost all her hair, and this is why I've shaved my head in solidarity at the time. But Rima actually prefers me like this, so I've kept mine. Hers has grown back. But yeah, so we went through that journey, and to have your son to also absorb what's going on, it's crazy. And we've done that, and then when Rima had the transplant, that went all well. It was a scary process.
I think the funniest thing was, I think the first real life training I ever delved into was online in the hospital when I was by myself. And I literally remember I turned my camera on and I was like, oh my God, because this was a point where I think you guys are like, everyone, cameras on, and I was like, oh my goodness, I've got no hair, I'm sitting in a hospital, how am I going to do this? Why have I dialed into this? What panic absolutely went through me. And I turned it on and I literally was messaging you, and I was like, I've just literally signed into like an online training and I've got my camera on and it's amazing and let's do it. And he was like, can you get out of the hospital and get better first?
I remember that. I do remember that. So yeah, that was it's very brave stuff, and that's what's so wonderful about like that, and that's exactly why we call this a Transformational Tuesday, because it's a huge transformation that you guys have gone through, because you become different people when you experience this type of thing. And I think what is so inspiring, and people watching, and we still got some more questions to ask you, but it's like, look at all these things that can come up in life, and some of the things that can hold people back to being able to just achieve their dreams, move forward, do the things that they want to do. So you had all of this stuff going on. I mean, were there any other challenges that came up as you were going through your journey and your passion that you wrote down since you were 16, building that portfolio, investing in property?
I think it was also a lack of confidence. Like we said, we had a lot of knowledge, we had a lot of books, we had a lot of, information, but we were doing things to kind of make ourselves feel like we were doing things. So like driving 5 hours to an area, or, calling estate agents and building rapport, and, just tick box exercises, because you're like, yes, you're doing it, but nothing's coming into fruition. So it was just, I think it was more so us, our lack of confidence and our lack of mindset, and just really feeling like it was just us two doing this alone.
But I suppose then we fast forward into, because the first project, Byron, when did that start?
January. No, last year.
Last year in June, July, and you were out of hospital by March. So Rima came out of hospital March, and we actually started our first HMO in June and July. And this project was a bit closer to Rima's parents. And it was one of those ones where it was just like, do you know what, we've tried the whole learning and stuff. We've got, this house here that is crying to be turned into a HMO. Let's just do it. Let's jump in. So literally with, zero experience of HMOs, apart from reading the books and attending lectures and the rest of it, it's just like, let's experience what this is about. So, went in there, sourced an architect, sourced a builder, done all the vetting that we needed to, and it was pretty much, yeah, let's do it. We took out a bridge on the property. Things that, to me now I feel a bit more comfortable speaking about. But if you ask me back then, it's just like, what's the rate? How much we're paying? We're paying how much? So it was all overwhelming. And then you suddenly, you're then given this lump of cash to see the project through, and it's just like, right, okay, I've got to do this. And I'm very anal and very systematic, and when I do it, when I do anything, it's just everything's got to have structure and the rest of it. So for me, I with support of Reem and the family, we project managed that while also working a 9 to 5, and Rima still recovering. So we, it's just like, let's
jump right into the deep end.
Let's do it. Let's do it. And at the time, so that was
last year. 2019.
Yeah, 2019. And then, because you were watching the real life thing in February.
Yeah.
And we still didn't act upon it because we got our first HMO. And then we thought, hey, we're busy, hands are tied. Yeah, we're in it now. We're doing it. It's one of that sort of feeling like it doesn't matter. We've done the big step here, so we were in it. And then what got us to February? Because obviously this project went from June and then went into the new year, and then we went to the real life event in Loughborough in February
of this year.
Yeah.
I think it was again me and my eager self on another training in January this year online, and I was like, Haps, you need to just do it. Like, I feel like you still had a bit more fear left in you than I did. I think after everything I'd been through with being in hospital for a month away from my family, the stem cell transplant, everything, I was literally just like, it's now or never. Like I felt like I came out of that a brand new person, and just literally like, I need to do everything that we wanted to do for the past 6 years now. And I went on to an online training in January, and I said to him, I was like, look, I know you feel like I'm trying to jump at too much. We've got one HMO. I know you still want me to slow down, but just listen. Like, just listen to it with me, and let's just try something different. Like, we'll never get a different result if we don't try something different. And we listened, and I think it was at the end of that you guys had mentioned you've got an event in February, and it's a 2-day event, and come down, and by some miracle he actually listened and he said yes. And I was like, I've been trying this for a year.
I said, upgrade it. Let's get VIP.
Yeah, good job. So you got your first deal. It's in the motion, and then you came down along to the event. So like, you'd already put in like a shift. Like, you'd learned for many years, like the academic side of it. You'd done a deal. You had all this personal challenge going on. You said you were doing these tick box tick spot exercises, which generally is what happens when it's like academic type of acquisition of, let's say, learning. So like, what changed for you? What changed for you, either mindset and definitely with your results? And then what have you been on? What have you been doing now? Like, what did you go on to do?
So when we came to the event in February, we actually a few weeks before that were starting a project on 2 more HMOs at the exact same time. So we came to the event with an open mind, but also acutely aware that our plate's about to get a lot bigger. Like, we've already got a lot on, so let's just come to this and try something different. And I think it was just, for me personally, it was the mindset shift. Literally, it's unreal how much a mindset can change in 2 days. You try something one way for so long, and yes, we got a result of 1 property and we made a big profit on it, but something was still holding us back from what we wanted, where we still felt like let's wait until, and the untils just weren't coming. So we went to that 2 days, and I feel like between us it was a no-brainer. Like, it was like, okay, we want to join Real Life, we want to be a part of this, because the mindset, the support, even from 2 days of just speaking to people, was just incredible. And I think we still had some fear, because I remember, like, we were sitting outside at one point and we were having a conversation with ourselves. We're like, right, so we'll join, but we won't actually do anything. And I still remember saying this when I was signing up. I was like, so I'm joining today, but I'm not going to start anything. I'm not going to learn anything more. I'm not going to connect with anyone. I'll be present and I'll see what everyone's doing. But we need some time, because we're about to start 2 more projects, and that's a lot going on.
We were also going through refinance on the first one we done, and that one came back. Basically, it took us 5 months to refinance it, and we had 100k down bal on it as well. So there was a lot going on. And at the time where we were like, we cannot even think about taking on another property, so therefore it makes sense, we'll join the masterminds.
We'll learn what everyone else is doing, but we won't do anything else.
We'll network, but we are not taking on anything else. So hence the February to the gap between that. And but I think also another reason that gave me more of a, do you know what, yeah, I want to do it, I suppose. We've kind of known Trisha through Facebooks and stuff like that, and we've seen her grow into what she has. And then obviously with Trisha was yourself, in terms of where you guys have come, and it's just like, it's made me think. It's just like, Trisha started in the same place we're in. She's also had children. We're in the same place. People can do it. Can be done, right?
We had very similar sort of jobs.
Yeah,
it's one thing I resonated with.
I suppose we had a very good feeling and connection, even though we have never met you guys, but we kind of followed your journey and kind of knew where you guys have come from. And it was just like, right, we're all humans at the end of the day, right? And the one thing that I was lacking was the mindset, and that's why I think I spoke to you personally during a break time, and I was like, look, this getting my mind shift is, I was like, I can do the HMOs, I can figure that out, I'm systematic, I can do that, that's not a problem. But the one thing that I'm not good at is having the mind really into a point where I can be a better person.
But I don't think you actually realised it until you had that conversation with Mark.
Yeah.
If I'm completely, like, looking at it subjectively, like, as his partner, like, I think I'm very big on, like, we need to work on our mindset. And I've always been big on it, but I feel like where I've been big on working on it, I've probably been working on it to like maybe 50%, where it's like, I'll say it and I'll get really, really like, oh my God, we need to work on our mindset. And then something will happen and then it'll crash. And then it's just like, something was still there, but it was like, you were like, well, I just need to know what I'm doing. And I know what I'm doing, so I don't really need my mindset. And it was like one conversation and you were literally just like.
Yeah, but however, when I say I know what I'm doing, that, after joining masterminds and stuff, you then learn so much from other people.
You never really know what you're doing.
You never know what you're doing. And there's always, in property, there's always learning and working with each other and the rest of it. And that's one of the biggest values that, I've taken out of this. And, we love to help others that are probably haven't experienced what they have. So for me, it was just like, this is awesome. Like this is very different to anything I've experienced before. The mindset side of it is spot on. So for me, that was my decision, where I was like, because you were getting cold feet and I was the one saying, let's do it.
Yeah, so after all of that, I was like, oh, are we sure we're going to do this? Are we 100% sure we're going to do this? And then it was probably quite reassuring to actually hear you saying, no, 100% we are, because I think it's just that, because I'd wanted it for so long, when he's actually turning around saying yes to me, I'm just like, oh my God, he's actually saying yes. Now I'm petrified because now everything's about to change.
I called a bluff. I called a bluff.
Yeah, and what's great about everything that you're saying, and obviously, you know, witnessing the whole journey as well, is, I mean, number one, so people watching right now, it's like when you say mindset, it's kind of invisible. Yeah, it's kind of invisible. Sometimes it's not measurable, and people are always looking for that physical result. But you know, you can't replace like how you feel. You know, and when you can enjoy what it is that you're doing, even though, you know, stuff goes wrong and, you know, things come up, personal life challenges, all of that stuff. When you can, you know, just embrace that and experience it fully, that's the key. But just to watch you guys come along, like you say, when you, I mean, we have this saying, you probably heard me say it before, it's like, when you think you know, like that's when you're done. You're finished at that point. Like, you might as well just stop, whatever it is that you're doing in life, because it's only when you realize you know nothing, that's when you're actually intelligent. Yeah, and what's great about you guys and listening to you and been watching you, you know, for this whole time, it's like how open-minded you are. Yeah, how open-minded you are, even though you know, you could have said, yeah, I've been doing it this many years, I've already done this, but like just the fact that you're open-minded has allowed you to, you know, move into a space now where you do some amazing things.